All right, we have our third video of the day. We are pumping them out today. There is literally, like, I'm not kidding, 100 different topics to talk about in Honkai Star Rail. There's a lot of insight that I've accrued over the past week that I've been banging this bad boy out, and yeah, there's a lot to share. But let's go ahead and discuss the rankings of each light cone from the erudition path. Because that's the path that Jing Yuan belongs to. We're gonna rate each one, the quality of each one, and the value of each one, so that you guys know what to invest in based off of what you may own on your account. Now, we're only gonna talk about the 4-star and 5-star options on this tier list because, let's face it, 3 stars become incredibly obsolete as you progress through the game. Furthermore, there's 2 free-to-play 4-star options that are just better than the 3-star options. So yeah, we're only talking about the 4 and 5-star options. We'll rank the tier list, and then that'll be GG's, boys. Okay, so we'll be flipping back and forth between the tier list and the actual game because the game has descriptions that I can actually go over and discuss with you guys as we're ranking these erudition light cones for my boy Jing Yuan. Anyways, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 currently in the game right now for the erudition path. Obviously, as the game progresses on, they'll probably add more, but for now, these are the 7 that we're going to go over and rank in this particular tier list. Now, starting off with his literal tailor-made light cone, the pay-to-win light cone that's going to be with him on his promotional banner. That's going to be a triple S tier light cone, or a double S tier. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and put another S on that bad boy, because that's just how good his light cone is for him. All right, boys, we had to move ourselves again so that we're not in the way of the description over here. So yeah, basically this man's light cone is just absolutely cracked. It just gives you everything for completely free. First stat, increase the wearer's crit damage by 36%. There's no condition for it. You just get 36% increase in crit damage. The next thing says increase the wearer's skill and ultimate damage by 18%. Again, no condition. You just flat out get an 18% damage bonus. And then, if that wasn't enough, after the wearer uses their skill or ultimate, they gain Somnus Corpus. Upon triggering a follow-up attack, Somnus Corpus will be consumed and the follow-up attack damage will be increased by 48%. 40 freaking 8%. As if they didn't already give you enough with this light cone. Now, what's crazy is he has a passive, and this is not leak, by the way. This was in the beta. It's all over the internet. This is not a leak. Have to do full disclosure. Those who know my past know it. Anyways, he has a passive where his passive literally procs this big old sword. This dude is like an absolute, truly a titan of an individual. This sword comes down in the ground and it ticks a bunch of times based off the amount of stacks that you have. This does AoE, and this passive is considered a follow-up attack. So that bad boy right there is going to give you a 48% damage bonus to that attack, which, mind you, is a very, very powerful attack. Furthermore, in the simulated universe, the best path to go down with this man is going to be the elation path, because the elation path has nothing but follow-up attack damage bonuses and one particular level 3 perk that turns your ultimate itself into a follow-up attack, which means this will also give your ultimate a follow-up attack should you go the elation path, which you should in the simulated universe. So with all that being said, this is a triple S tier light cone, and if you think you are ballsy enough to go for this as a free-to-play player, if you think you have the luck, good luck, buddy. But if you're pay to win, this is banger value, bro. Like, it is insane how good this is. So yeah, coming back to the tier list, he's triple S tier. He is in a league of his own with this particular light cone. Now, moving on, we have Herta. Herta is actually going to be, yes, she's going to be S tier, with the understanding that we are considering the simulated universe, and I'm going to explain exactly why. If you do not consider the simulated universe, then she drops down a tier. But since we do use the simulated universe as replayable in-game content, it is very prevalent. She's S tier. The maiden in the painting increases damage dealt by the wearer's follow-up attacks by 24%. That's a funny description. If the current HP of the target enemy is below or equal to 50%, increase damage dealt by follow-up attacks by an extra 24%. Now, this is not free to play, and I mean, it technically is. I got it free to play. I own this, but what I mean is there's no way to really obtain it unless it's through sheer luck. You know, you do your roll on a standard banner and then this bad boy pops up, which is what happened to me. But we can only assume this light cone's ability, we're going to assume every light cone's ability that's not free to play at refinement rank 1. We're not going to max refine it because that's pretty much unachievable. It's just not going to happen for a free to play player unless you just keep getting it generally. So at an R1 is what we're going to grade it as. All right, but at an R1, you get a 48% damage bonus to your follow-up attacks, which I just explained to you. This guy's passive is a follow-up attack, and then going into the simulated universe, you turn your ultimate into a follow-up attack, and then that gets the 48% damage bonus as well. So it's giving your ultimate and your talent a follow-up attack damage bonus, and then outside of the simulated universe, your follow-up attack is getting the damage bonus. So this is a very powerful option for simulated universe, and outside of it, it's still very good, but it's only applying to the follow-up attack. But your real banger value for this is going to be in the simulated universe. But that's why that alone is going to put it in the S tier, because a 48% damage bonus to your ult and your follow-up attack is actually cracked. Not to mention the elation path will also allow you to do follow-up attacks with its ult. So you'll do follow-up attacks period outside of ultimate and skill as well, which again makes this go up tremendously high in value. Now, moving on to the next one, we got Himiko's light cone. He's going in the A tier. Now, I get it, it's a 5-star light cone, and you probably thought it should be higher, but no, it's not higher. I don't even think it's better than this, and we'll go ahead and go over that and explain why as well. So Himiko's light cone says for every enemy on the field, increases the wearer's attack by 9%, up to 5 stacks. Now that may sound good, but the problem is when you kill enemies, you literally debuff yourself, which is not a good thing. There's gonna be times throughout the fight, and this is the problem with the light cone, it's very inconsistent. There's gonna be times throughout the fight where you just have one person on the field, so you only get a 9% attack damage bonus. When an enemy is afflicted with weakness break, the damage dealt by the wearer increases by 30% for 1 turn. Now, I'll be honest with you, that's a very fat multiplier, but it only applies when the shields are down. Again, inconsistent. So you're only getting a 30% damage bonus when an enemy shield is down. And there's a lot of times where you're fighting these bosses where their shields are up, so you just don't even get this bonus. And then if they don't have anybody on the field with them, you only get a 9% attack damage bonus. Now I will say it's a 5-star light cone, so in the end game it's also probably going to have a good chunk of more raw attack than the 4-star, but that not being able to take advantage of this throughout the whole fight, whereas the other ones are, I have to put it in the A tier. Plus it's not something you can obtain, you have to kind of get lucky to obtain this. So with that understanding, I have to put it in the A tier. It's just not that good of a light cone for Jing Yuan. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, it's not unfortunate, because that means you can get 4-star options that can perform at the same level of this light cone, if not better. Now, moving on to the next one. Ooh, this is a free to play option. This is also going to go in the A tier, and I'll explain why. So this is a free to play option. It's not only in the Forgotten Hall, but you can also obtain it by doing your weekly bosses. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, they even give you just one straight up as you progress through the game. I can't remember. I'm already forgetting all the like little benefits you get as you're starting this game and climbing through the ladder, but I'm pretty sure they gave this one to me for absolutely free. So yeah, the reason it's also A tier right next to that 5-star light cone is because this is max refinement obtainable. You can max refine this bad boy, so you can actually view this as a 24% increase in damage. Straight up, no questions asked. Furthermore, when you defeat 3 enemies, you get 24% attack boost as well. And again, this game has a designed mechanic with boss fights where they summon lackeys throughout the fight periodically. So you're gonna get that, and there's no condition. It's stacked permanently. So once you kill 3 enemies, you have 24% attack permanently. You have a 24% non-conditioned damage bonus permanently at max refinement 5. So this is a very good free-to-play option once you max refine it, which you absolutely can. So I cannot overlook that, and because of that, 24% damage bonus plus 24% attack boost actually can bring it up to perform at the same level as the Himiko. It's crazy, but that's the truth, man. And that's because it's consistent throughout the whole fight, whereas Himiko, you only get it when the shields are down, 30% damage bonus, and then you only get a 9% attack boost once you kill everybody on the field, so you like debuff yourself. But yeah, you know, it's debatably, this is not mathematically, nor is it factually. I'm just kind of looking at them face value. I can do the math. I do have the skill to do the math, but I'm just looking at them for face value. I'm telling you right now, the damage bonuses are probably not that different in comparison to this max refinement 5 versus the R1 Himiko. So yeah, with that understanding, I think it belongs in the same tier as the Himiko light cone as well. Now, moving on to the next one, we have The Quantum 4-star girl. Let's go ahead and take a look at hers. So she has a unique one where it increases your damage. You get a damage bonus based off of the max energy required to cast your ultimate. Now, Jing Yuan's ultimate is 130 energy costs. So he gets, if you do 130 times 0.2, that's a 26% damage bonus. Now, I won't lie to you, this is actually a good thing because you outright get a 26% damage bonus to his whole entire kit, right? It's his ult, that's his skill, that's his basic attack, that's his follow attack. The whole kit gets a 26% damage bonus. But at R1, it's actually not that valuable because 26% damage bonus is losing out to the free-to-play max refinement 24% damage bonus and 24% attack. So with that in mind, I have to put this one tier lower. But if you get more refinements of this can actually get crazy. But again, it's not a free-to-play option. At max refinement 5 though, I would put this bad boy pretty high up because that's now 52% damage bonus to his whole entire kit, right? So this can get incredibly cracked at max refinement 5, but how are you even going to get it to max refinement 5? I don't think there's not a way to really consistently continue to gather this light cone without like just getting lucky. So yeah, with that understanding, this is going to go into the B tier because we're grading it off of its R1, which is only 0.2, and he only has 130 energy. So let's go ahead and slide that person into the B tier. But with higher refinements, easily jumps ahead of both of these guys. Not even a question. In fact, if R5, it's up here. But B tier at R1, no doubt about it. Now, moving on to the free-to-play obtainable option from the web event, which is Serval's light cone. We're gonna put that down here with I forgot her name, but yeah, we're gonna put this down there with her. We'll go ahead and explain why. The reason being is because this isn't that valuable if your ult is already up before you go into combat, but it is valuable if your ult's not up, right? It does bring some value, but it's just a one-time thing, 20 energy at the start, and that's it. And that always loses value for me personally. Now, the next part, you get a 32% damage bonus to your ult, which is a fat freaking damage bonus. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's an insane damage bonus for ult, but it only applies to your ult. Your skill doesn't get it. Your follow-up attack doesn't get it. I don't care about basic attack, but your skill and follow-up attack don't get this bonus at all. So they just got left hanging, and that takes away from the value of this, but it is still a valuable option. And if, again, by some odd chance you were able to max refine this and get a 64% damage bonus to your ult, that brings its value up quite a bit. But at R1, assuming you won't get any more copies, and even if you do, only applying to his ult, that definitely brings the value down tremendously. So we've got to put that in the B tier next to this person, because if you think about it, 26% damage bonus to his whole kit, 32% damage bonus to his ult only with a 20 energy recharge. I'm sorry, that's objectively behind this light cone, and it's definitely behind these light cones. And then finally, our final option is going to be this light cone right here. This is going to belong in the B tier as well. Let's go ahead and review it next. Minimize, come back. Nope, wrong one, sorry. Here we are. This one says increase the wearer's attack by 16%. When the wearer defeats an enemy, the wearer's crit damage increases by 24% for 3 turns. So this is a pretty solid option, but you do have to defeat somebody to get the crit damage perk, and then you only get a 16% attack damage bonus, but it's actually not bad. It's pretty damn good. If you get the crit damage bonus and defeat an enemy, which you'll defeat the enemy, you have a 24% damage bonus and a 16% attack boost. So it's actually pretty dang solid, but compared to all the other options, I think it's probably gonna fall somewhere in here with the B tier. It's not gonna be better than anything up here. And yeah, guys, those are going to be the tier list options for my boy Jing Yuan. I'm really excited to play with him. I'm personally going to be rocking this bad boy right here in the simulated universe, and outside of the simulated universe as well. This is going to be my go-to right here. As always, I hope this brought some value. Y'all take care, and I'll catch you on the flip side.